Now at 10, a man's arrested in Vernon County, Missouri after authorities say he made terroristic threats. Plus, why the Bourbon County Jail is transferring inmates to new locations. And we'll hear from a drone instructor at MSSU on how his class provides professional skill.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities arrest an El Dorado Springs, Missouri man after he allegedly made terroristic threats. This is KOAM News at 10. Officials say David Artiser Jr. made threats against the juvenile office at the Vernon County Courthouse last week. Artiser is charged with first-degree terroristic threat and tampering with a judicial officer. They say he also had outstanding warrants from St. Clair County and was out on bond from Cedar County on charges that included unlawful possession of a firearm and second-degree domestic assault. Authorities say the exact details of the threat will not be released until the investigation is complete and after criminal proceedings. Some inmates at the Bourbon County, Kansas jail are being moved. Officials there just aren't enough jail employees, they say, to properly staff it. The jail needs a minimum of 12 staff members, but come Monday they're going to be down to 8. The inmates are being moved to other facilities in southeast Kansas. The HVAC system at the jail has also been out for several days. Work to fix it began this week and is expected to finish in the coming days. Authorities are investigating a death after finding a body in Fort Scott, Kansas. Officials say the body was found in woods near the river at Gunn Park. They say they're still investigating the cause of death and they are not yet releasing the name of that victim. A judgment has been made in a restraining order case the Newton County Treasurer and Recorder filed against the Newton County Commissioners. The County Recorder's and Treasurer's Office filed a restraining order against commissioners in 2020. The injunction says the commission ordered the Recorder and Treasurer to switch to a new IT provider picked by the commission. But the Treasurer and Recorder claimed as independent officers they weren't required to do so. Well, now a judge has ruled in that case. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky has more.
On June 24, 2020, Newton County Commissioners sent an email restricting Keel's Consulting Services, an IT provider, from entering any Newton County building and performing IT work on any county computers. Originally, a restraining order was filed by the Newton County Recorder's Office and Treasurer's Office against the county commissioners. A written contract was executed by the commissioners with Stronghold Data to provide IT and telephone service for Newton County for 2020. The county's recorder and treasurer did not agree to be part of the contract with Stronghold Data. Both offices continue to use Keel's as their IT provider, the one restricted from entering the building. The injunction alleged the recorder and treasurer switched to a new IT provider picked by the commissioners. On Tuesday, a judge ruled the plaintiffs, county recorder and treasurer can hire their own IT experts. The judge also denied the recorder and treasurer's request to forbid county commissioners from entering into their offices. Finally, the recorder and treasurer's attorney fees are to be paid from general revenue from the Newton County Treasury and will be taxed against the county commissioners.
You can find more information on this case on our website. Of course, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. The heat wave continues. Let's check in with Doug.
Yeah, it got even a little bit hotter outside for us today. Temperatures shot into low to mid 90s across the region. Look at where we started, 78 degrees. We made it up to 93 as we went into the afternoon hours. Not too much going on here. We have a few clouds which are sneaking through, but some thunderstorms, northern parts of Missouri, back through Nebraska, western Kansas, but they're going to rotate around us due to a big dome of high pressure, which is in charge. Look at our temps, upper 70s, lower 80s right now. In fact, we still got a heat index. It's after 10 o'clock, still feels like 85, upwards to about 90 degrees across the region. We'll drop back to 75, 83 by 9, 91 by noon. High temp, hot, humid again, 95 degrees. But we do have some thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catch you then. Some upward bound students at Missouri Southern are upward bound. They got to put their drone flying skills to the test. Upward Bound is a program through the U.S. Department of Education that works with area high school students to help them prepare for post-secondary education. Today, those students learned the ins and outs of drone flying and the opportunities that come with the skill.
Much more opportunities for professional opportunities to serve the community and to participate. Everything from police officers to military members to deliveries of packages, pizzas, whatever, food.
The class usually costs $187, but for them, it was free. A local organization today handed out more than $24,000 in grants. The Rotary Club of Joplin gave out grants between $500 and $10,000 to 9 area organizations. Those organizations include the Ronald McDonald House, Pro Musica, and the Community Clinic of Southwest Missouri.
You know, Ronald McDonald House actually is funded with all private monies. And so when you have organizations such as Joplin Rotary Club, it makes a difference. It makes a difference in what you can provide for your families.
The organization announced the grants at an event at the End Zone facility at Missouri Southern. The Neosho National Fish Hatchery has started placing a new liner in one of their on-site ponds. The reconstruction is completely federally funded and began earlier this week. Roderick May, project manager, said the 9,000 fish in the pond were big enough to be taken to Lake Taneycomo in Branson and left this morning. The replacement project is a way for the hatchery to continue providing rare species of fish to lakes in the 4-state area.
You know, that pond is empty right now. We actually didn't have trout in that particular pond this year. We've had trout in there before, but this year we had fathead minnows in that pond, and we knew that the project was coming up, so we had the pond already drained and cleaned and ready for the company to begin their work.
The replacement project will not stop the hatchery's ability to give tours and provide educational programs to visiting groups. Coming up.
Pressure on former Vice President Mike Pence. I'm Skyler Henry on Capitol Hill, recapping the third January 6th public hearing where lawmakers claim former President Trump leaned on Pence to overturn the 2020 presidential election.
Plus, an AG's candidate's push to lower the Kansas drinking age. The Oklahoma House and Senate have failed to reach a deal on a tax cut package that Governor Kevin Stitt was urging them to pass. The House adjourned a special session today after passing an array of tax cut options, but Senate leaders dismissed the proposal as, quote, political theater. Senate President pro tempore Greg Treat said he would assemble a working group to consider a more methodical approach to tax cuts. Republican Governor Stitt called the legislature into a special session to consider cutting the state sales tax on groceries and reduce the individual income tax rate. Republican Attorney General candidate Chris Kobach has endorsed lowering the Kansas legal drinking age to 18. He promises that if he's elected this year, he'll challenge the federal policy preventing that move. Kobach criticized a 1980s federal law that threatened states with the loss of highway dollars if their drinking ages are below 21. He says he believes the U.S. Supreme Court would now overturn that law. Kobach says if 18-year-olds can go to war, they should have all the rights other citizens enjoy. Rioters came within 40 feet of former Vice President Mike Pence when they stormed the Capitol on January 6th. The House committee investigating that day says the mob was egged on by President Trump, and some of them would have killed the vice president if given the chance. Reporter Skyler Henry is on Capitol Hill with more details from the panel's third hearing.
The House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol laid out the pressure campaign former President Trump put on his vice president to overturn the 2020 election.
Mike Pence said no. He resisted the pressure. He knew it was illegal. He knew it was wrong.
In a phone call that morning, Mr. Trump repeatedly berated Mike Pence.
The conversation was pretty heated.
Ivanka Trump told an aide about the vulgar language used.
Remember what she said? Her father called him
The P word.
Pressure also came from Trump lawyer John Eastman, who asked Pence to delay certification of the vote even after rioters stormed the Capitol.
He was still pushing us to do what he had been asking us to do for the previous 2 days, that was certifiably crazy.
Eastman invoked his Fifth Amendment right 146 times when testifying before the committee. But Pence's lawyer says Eastman knew his plan lacked legal standing.
And he said, absolutely. Al Gore did not have a basis to do it in 2000. Kamala Harris shouldn't be able to do it in 2024, but I think you should do it today.
Conservative Judge Michael Ludig, an outside advisor to Pence, warned Mr. Trump is ready to try it again in 2024.
Donald Trump and his allies and supporters are a clear and present danger.
The committee is now hoping to interview Ginny Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. She exchanged emails with Eastman in the days leading up to January 6th. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
After the attack, Eastman emailed Rudy Giuliani asking to be considered for a pardon, though that never happened. Progressive prosecutors around the U.S. are declaring they won't enforce some anti-abortion laws that GOP-led states have waited years to implement. The promises come as the Supreme Court appears on track to overturn the constitutional right to abortion. About half of states, including Missouri, Arkansas, and Oklahoma, are expected to ban abortion if Roe v. Wade, the landmark abortion rights case, is weakened or overturned. Enforcement of these laws will fall largely onto the shoulders of district attorneys, and a growing number of them promise they won't pursue the criminal charges in the harshest of abortion restrictions. Later, a look at an upcoming festival all lavender lovers could enjoy.
Well, the heat sticks around, but we are looking for some rain chances. With that coming up. Well, of course, a very hot, humid day for us today. Temperatures all the way up into low to mid 90s across the region. And in general, we're going to see the heat. We're going to see the humidity sticking around, mainly a dry pattern. We do have some rain chances sprinkled in there. Of course, if you want my long range forecast, go to my month-long blog, KOAM newsnow.com. Looks good. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Our temperatures obviously been hot and humid. Upper 80s yesterday. We went into lower 90s for highs today, and we're still in the upper 70s to lower 80s across the region. Very warm, muggy night, usually when you don't drop off much. So you start warm, you end up usually on the hot side. 81 southerly winds light, humidity is at 77%. Not a whole bunch going on outside for us. We have a few clouds which are kind of rotating through, but we are staying dry. If you want rain, you have to travel north across northern parts of Missouri, and then pretty good cluster. Southern Nebraska just to the south of Omaha, which will dive into north central Missouri. Also another cluster out across western Kansas, but the bottom line, none of these are going to make it here due to big dome of high pressure. So all the storms, they rotate clockwise around the area of high pressure. We need the high to kind of shift off us to get some rain. It does kind of do that this weekend. Off across Nebraska, gets a couple waves in here, but then early next week just kind of hangs out, meaning hot and humid. Then it finally starts to break down late next week. That will give us some better chances for showers and thunderstorms into the region. All right, let's go hour by hour. Through the overnight hours, we'll stop at 6:30. Partly cloudy, mid 70s. Quick warm up by the noon hour, 90, 91 degrees across the region. And then we top out into the mid 90s during the afternoon. Here's your forecast. 75 to start, 91 by noon, high temp 95. So a couple notches hotter than today. The winds are going to be fairly light. Southerly wind at about 5 to 10. Very slight chance there could be an isolated pop-up storm on the Missouri side tomorrow, but I really think most of us are going to stay dry. Saturday morning, 7 a.m., mid to upper 70s again. Here we go. Heat up, mid 90s, but here's the difference. Look at these isolated little thunderstorms trying to pop up. In fact, a complex tries to come together on Saturday. Remember that high pressure? Clockwise flow. So these are actually moving from east to west as we head into Saturday evening. So we need to keep our eyes on that and see if we can get those to pop up. Of course, the humidity is a concern. Heat indices tomorrow 100 to about 105. Heat indices again on Saturday about 100 to 105 degrees. 95 actual temperature, 93 Saturday, 91 Father's Day. Very slight chance for a storm if you have outdoor activities. I think it looks great on Sunday. But look at our temps. We hold into the 90s all the way into next weekend. A little better chances for rain by next Wednesday and Thursday.
Well, welcome the rain if we can get it. Not great chances.
Yeah, the temps just hot.
Yeah, too hot. Thanks, Doug. Hey, if you're a lover of music, games, and lavender, and who isn't, well, this event just might be for you. The Lavender Patch Farm in Fort Scott, Kansas is preparing for their 2022 Lavender Fest 5. Tickets $5. Attendees will get to see demonstrations including how to distill lavender and how to care for lavender. The festival begins Saturday at 9 a.m., runs until 3 p.m.
We're pretty excited. We'll have the lavender for everybody to see. You can do U-picks, and you can go and get your own bundles of lavender. We're also surrounded by wildflowers on 3 sides, natural wildflowers, and so you can get lavender and wildflowers if you want.
The Lavender Patch Farm opened in 2010 with just a single lavender plant. The farm now has more than 1,000 plants. If your signal of KOAM or Fox 14 becomes glitchy, a reminder that it is a sign of progress. We're going to be broadcasting from a lower temporary antenna while the crew installs a new, more technically advanced antenna at the very top of our tower. It's the final step in our More Power project. This is going to allow some people who previously lost our signal to get us again. And if all goes as planned, we're going to be back up and stronger than ever very soon. Still ahead, Kansas City is named a host city for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're going to also hear Patrick Mahomes' reaction to that coming up. And Joplin aims for back-to-back wins against Jefferson City. Highlights next.
The Joplin Outlaws hit the field today to begin a 5-game homestand. Joplin hosts Jeff City tonight, and it's the 4th meeting between these two teams in the past 5 days. The Outlaws have won 2 out of 3 of those meetings, including a 2-0 victory last night. Joplin in trouble early with one on. Ross Lovich blasts a home run to right. The Renegades score 5 in the 2nd inning. Then the Outlaws get going a bit. Sam Fagan finds a gap in deep center. 2 score for Joplin, Fagan with a triple. 5-3 Jeff City. But the Renegades not slowing down. Lovich again hits his 2nd home run of the day, 3rd of the game for Jeff City. Extends the lead back to 4. It's 15-6 right now. Renegades lead in the 9th. Columbus head coach Mick Tedlock was named 3A Coach of the Year. Tedlock led the Titans to a historic finish this past season. Columbus made its first ever state tournament appearance this spring, but they didn't just make the tournament. They went on to earn a spot in the championship game. The Titans finished as the 3A state runner-up with a 22-3 overall record.
I was surprised, and didn't expect it, and but it's a contribute to the boys, the players, and the assistant coaches too. These juniors, they're going to battle, and it's a real good class in every sport. I mean, they compete very well, and I know they've got a goal for next year to win it. I mean, they're going to come out and they're going to be ready to go. So we got to develop some more pitching and just work one day at a time, one game at a time, and reach that goal next year.
Kansas City will be one of the host cities for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. This here is a watch party in Kansas City this afternoon when the announcement was made. And Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes shared his excitement this morning before the decision was made final.
It would be awesome. I mean, I was talking about with Brittany yesterday. I'm going to be at like every one of those games I can possibly be at if they do get them here. And I know Kansas City and how much they love soccer. I mean, you see it with Sporting and how they sell out almost every game. And then with the Current now in Sporting Stadium, they're bringing in these huge crowds. So you know that Kansas City loves that sport. And I think if we get that bid, we'll be selling out Arrowhead, Sporting, the Current Stadium whenever it gets built up. And it'll be a great experience, and I'll be at every single one of them.
Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight, Golden State has a 3-2 series lead, aiming to finish it off on the road tonight. Warriors up 96-81 with just a few minutes left in the game. Steph Curry leads the team with 30 points. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Fred Leitke served in the U.S. Navy from 1941 to 1944. His hometown, Webb City, Missouri, and we salute Lieutenant Commander Fred Leitke, a four-state hero. You can learn about lots of other heroes from all across this area, more than likely some of them from your own hometown. You can also submit a hero of your own, and it's very simple. You just click on the link on our website, follow the directions. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Some folks enjoyed the warm evening at Joplin's Third Thursday event tonight. Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Group, also known as EDI, hosted a solidarity walk as part of the monthly event. As usual, Third Thursday also included local artisans, music, entertainment, and food. It was warm for that event, and it's going to stay really on the hot side of warm for a while.
Yeah, I would call it hot. I mean, temperatures above 90. It was, we just dropped below 90 about 2 hours ago. 94, or actually 95 for us tomorrow. Very slight chance for an isolated thunderstorm late. A little better shot Saturday evening, but you can see the 90s persist.
Final sports note.
Well, World Cup games are coming to Kansas City. Super exciting news announced today. That won't be until 2026, though.
Very good. We're going to leave you with some music from a Third Thursday tonight. Thanks for joining us. Let's make it a great tomorrow.